For years now, we at ABC News have been meeting kids and families and reporting on what it's like to grow up trans in America.
Do you know the word transgender? What does it mean?
A gender that wants to be the other one.
I was always feeling like a girl.
I always sort of felt something was wrong or off.
Society isn't fully accepting.
Did you feel that urge to do what you thought boys should do?
I mean, it was just the voice in my head telling me, no, this is who you are. You need to be a girl.
I remember meeting Nicole Maines and her family back in 2015. She was a lively 17-year-old, very self-possessed, and on the cusp of big change.
Oh my God.
And at what point did you decide you wanted another name?
I was probably like 4th grade.
The thing that I remember most from 2015 was excitement. I was on my way to get my surgery that I'd been looking forward to my entire life.
This is that final piece of the puzzle where my body is finally gonna match what's happening in my head and my heart.
I 100% consider myself an accidental activist.
Nicole made headlines around the country when she and her family sued her school district.
Nicole had to sue her school to go to the bathroom and did so years ago before a lot of these fights were as public.
That was because some boy that I didn't know, who didn't know me, told his grandfather about me. He took issue with who I was, never having laid his own eyes on me.
She and her family won that lawsuit, and it was a huge victory for trans youth.
I wanted to just use the restroom. I just always wanted to be myself.
Nicole went on to become an actress, and she's continued to make history for trans people.
Looking for me?
I joined Supergirl in 2018 to play Dreamer, who is the first live-action transgender superhero on television.
I am also a trans woman. I'm different, Ms. Danvers, but so is everybody. And I don't know when that became such a bad thing.
I never thought that I'd get to see it, and I never thought that I would get to be it.
Every example of young people who have fought back has created more space for the next group of young people to fight back and push further.
My name is Hobbes Chukumba. I'm currently a junior in high school. I felt like constantly throughout my life, people had been quote-unquote misgendering me. You know, they would say, oh, that kind young boy over there, your brother, your son. And back then, it wouldn't ever bother me. And it wasn't, you know, several years later until I realized it's because that's really how I identify. That's how I felt.
All right, Hobbes, it's on you. What's good?
Oh, stop. Hey.
Hobbes came out to me when he was 11 years old. And he said, I don't feel like a girl.
I was so relieved to finally have this weight put off my chest because it had been something that I was harboring for I don't know how long.
I told him I loved him. I left the room and I started Googling like crazy. I had no frame of reference. I didn't have anybody I could talk to. His mother, Chanel, would have been the one to have really grounded me in that moment. My wife passed away in 2016. I was just like, man, I wish you were here right now because you would have certainly known what to do, what to say, what we should be doing now.
She passed away when I was about 10 years old. I really look up to my mom. And I think that she would fully support me in all that I'm doing.
For the next 2 years, I was doing all the research I could to figure out how to best help my child realize, you know, who he was and how he could become his best self. This is now the opportunity for you to make the wish of wishes.
When I first told my father, I was really ready to move into the whole transitioning, the actual medical process of it, and forming my new body in a sense.
It's like a whole battery of appointments and meetings and doctors and clinicians and psychiatrists.
Every child, and family and adolescent has a different sort of set of needs. If you are in adolescence, that might be the moment that you would start hormones. You're literally just swapping which hormone is dominant in your body for a different one. That allows a young person to go through the right puberty.
The main difference that I noticed when I started taking testosterone was how I felt on the inside. It felt like on the first day, I was like, oh, look at me. I already have a huge mustache and awesome beard, even though obviously that wasn't true. But it was just the feeling, the thought that one day I will.
Typically, you think of adults being the ones out there trying to protect children. But what we've seen time and again with trans kids is that they're the ones out there on the front lines fighting to change laws and to change minds.
I'm thinking if we also have something that has the logo, says trans prom.
The children started planning trans prom in February, and it's an opportunity for trans people from across the country to come together in DC.
The trans prom is meant to celebrate the trans youth, celebrate trans joy, trans pride.
This prom is both party and action, and the action is to call attention to all of these laws.
Pushing aside those bills and showing that, yeah, trans kids are kids, and we have pride to be who we are.
It's an especially terrifying time to be a trans person. Trans youth today are on it. There's so much work to be done, and we all need to decide what kind of country that we want to live in.
Trans people are people. When I go on to the rest of my life, I want people to look at me as I currently am and not as I was. I want them to just see me and see Hobbes.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.